this book is powerful. And I say it's powerful because when we share books, when we talk about these books, we don't tell people to go in and word for word a book and everything it say is true. These are spaces to get us to start to think. And that's one of the things that this book says that it'll help you do. It'll help you get out of the mindset that things have to be just one way. Adam Parfrey, the author of Ritual America, The Secret Brotherhoods of Influence on American Society, said, left-hand path philosophy finally receives an objective and extremely informative reading from Stephen Flowers and is highly recommended. This book will be surely hailed as a classic in its field. So it says, Flowers explains that while the right-hand path seeks union and with thus dependence on God, the left-hand path seeks a higher law based on the knowledge and power. It is the way of self-empowerment and true freedom, beginning with the ancient Hindu and Buddhist sects and moving towards westward. He examines the many alleged left-hand path groups, including the cult of Set, the Assassins, the Neoplatonists, the Hellfire Club, the Bolsheviks, the Nazis, the heretical Sufi, Zoroastrianism, Christianity, and Muslim sects. Just because somebody says something is evil don't mean, quote unquote, necessarily it is. But like he said, there is an element of harm in things out here, because if you working with free will, people will abuse that. This is what we know. So one of the things that the reason I read the part about the ethics and the morals is because people who really study the left-hand path have a line too. Yeah. They have a line too. Just, you know, and I would go so far as to say they have a line, because we know some of this other stuff won't even give you a line. It just say, because I said so, heaven and hell, do what I say, and that's it. This is more adult, if you will, because you have to say, you know what, that right there crossed my line. Not going to do it. Just because I have knowledge of it and I know how to do a thing don't mean I have to do it. You know what I'm saying? We know how to trick kids and take lollipops, but we don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love the babies and the lollipops. But yeah. You know, I just, you know, it's I think that these kind of books that we offered today are for those who have decided, even with fear still embedded in them a little bit, that I'm willing to at least begin to open my mind and allow myself to make, you know, you'll know if something is for you, if it's not, you'll know. You know what I mean? Just like with any other book, you'll know what's for you and what's not. But I think this is one of those spaces, these is one of these opportunities where you can actually begin to think for yourself. So basically what they're saying is the left-hand path that is so wicked and evil and dark is actually the true path inward to help us to evolve into what it is we say we want to be. Now, he also makes very clear in here that he's not saying that evil does not exist and people do not do horrible things in the name of anything, but he also made the very good point that in the name of quote unquote God, people do horrendous things as well. So I thought that was important too. The book is excellent, great reference, lot of surprising little things in there, and I definitely recommend it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What you were just saying, that last part about the experience, believing it for yourself. That's the whole concept of mysticism, and particularly Christian mysticism. As I've studied and I've gained some more familiarity with it, is that in the box, in the traditional sense, Christianity is, like you said, reading the text, understanding what the text is saying, what it means. But the mysticism piece comes in when you have that individual spiritual experience.
And you made a point where you even said, it in mysticism, they talk about that space that you get to where you do it just because you don't want to. Not because you'll get in trouble, not because you go into heaven or hell, not because anybody is watching, which they talk about as a part of integrity, but what I will say is, from my experience and from my studies, do no harm is best in this whole situation. And worry about yourself. Like he said, what did he say? Most people with a left-hand path are more worried about themselves than anybody else.
And like I mentioned earlier, you have reading group questions. If you're reading this with someone else, or if you're reading this as a part of a book club. And just to give you a sample of an idea of what you can expect from this book and the type of discussions that can emerge from this book. The first reading group question says, in the introduction to the instruction, Ainslie MacLeod describes how learning to connect with his soul's purpose helped him make better choices in his life. Can you think of a time when you felt your life was taking the wrong path? Do you recognize any similarities between your past and that of the authors? Can you identify with MacLeod's initial reluctance to accept his role as a psychic? The instruction is here to get the reader to go below the surface and to really meditate on their motives, their past, the reason why things are the way they are, the reason why we are the way we are. That's what the instruction is here to tell us, from both the definition provided by the author as well as the numerical meaning and perspective of the title. Now, in the Pythagorean system of numerology, it adds up to a number 6. And the number 6 is a healing energy. It's a healing energy. It's a number of balance. It's a number of family. It's a number of the home. But healing and balance. The instruction is here to teach us or share with us those particular vibrations. So that is my offering for this episode.
So I know that your review will be thorough, and you will be letting me know just how great it is, because it sounds like an amazing book.
It does.
It sounds like an amazing book. I really, I can't say that. I remember the very first time I ever came in contact with anyone that talked about like channeling and past lives, stuff like that. I was very, 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 very skeptical. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, I'm not sure about that. And it's interesting to get older and have experiences or situations where you learn so much more, and how much actually is, that, we just not aware of. So I think that's really awesome that you were gifted that book. So whoever gave you that book, good look out, good look out, good look out. We gotta love the people that gift us books. What? Come on now. Come on, better than money.